Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of In-Depth Angling. I'm here today on Lake of the Ozarks again. I'm going to be just doing some dock fishing out here off of a condo dock. This is kind of fishing anybody can really do, whether you have a boat or not. And if you have any kind of lake access to anything out here, then there's public access areas along the shoreline. If you're a bank fisherman or used to fishing on docks, you're going to know a lot of these tips and stuff already. But if you're just getting into fishing, this is usually where you start. And today we're going to go over some of the tips and tricks of how you catch more fish and put them in the boat, or how you catch more fish and put them on the dock, I should say. You don't have a boat, I guess, if you're doing this, but I'm just doing this to kind of pass some time by today and spend up the afternoon. So I'll show you guys what I do to catch some fish around docks, and hopefully we can get into some white bass and some crappie out here today, because we got a good chop on the water, and it's blowing straight in here to the bank. So without further ado, we're going to get out there and try to catch some fish. I'm just going to apologize now for any wind that's going to come in. Got quite a bit of a chop and gust blowing in here right now, so I'll try to make this as good of audio and footage for you guys to watch as possible, but it's a windy day. I'm gonna try out for some crappie. This is a Bobby Garland crappie jig with a 1/16 ounce jig head, and I just got this stuff from Walmart, but you don't really need much more than that. Like I said, the color's bluegrass. I like anything that's got a little bit of chartreuse, and if it's got some sparkle in it, some fleck. I don't know how well you guys that's picking up on the camera for you, but blue's a good color. I like blue and white, chartreuse and white, and just plain chartreuse. I don't really get much crazier than that for colors on stained lakes like this. So fish the old brush piles. And first drop, catch one. That maybe took 2 seconds in the water. Not very big, but white crappie, Lake of the Ozarks, first fish. This is very simple. I'm just letting it drop down to where I know there's some brush piles at, and letting it just kind of go over the top of the branches real slow and easy. I'm not jigging it. Jig it. Just put it down there where they're at, and move your bait slow and steady. It's one of the biggest mistakes I see people do when they're crappie fishing with jigs is they pop their baits too much. Just letting them come into your bait is how I like to fish. Catch more that way. The steadier you are with your retrieval, usually the better. And really the biggest advice I can give to anybody that's trying to catch crappie around docks or have good fishing on docks, especially if you own them, you have access to do this, or you can do this from the bank too, but it's a little bit harder if you don't have a boat to get them out there, is get brush piles put in, because crappie and bass and bluegill are very structure oriented fish. They're like ambush spots. They like to be able to get in around brush piles. You can make them out of PVC that don't decay, so they're there forever. And I can put in maybe some pictures of some that I've made before in the past in this video. I'll do that for you. You can make them just straight out of tree branches. If you have cedar trees are good, oak is a good one. Hedge apple, or Osage orange, some people call them, is good wood. They last a really long time, take a long time to decay. Also, as the branches kind of decay, they become ambush places for the bigger ones to get into over time. If you could put them underneath a dock where there's already shade, and good depth around, good open water access close by, you'll have crappie there on these lakes. Missed one right there. There he is again. Came back to, oh, bass. Got a bass. He's having a seizure right now, I guess. Holy cow, dude. You don't know what you're gonna catch out of a brush pile. It's a little largemouth. Nothing big, but variety. I apologize for that wind. I'm trying to block it with my body right now. You can vary your speeds up slightly when doing this, but I don't really do much else besides slow and steady. I can kind of speed it up slightly, slow it down slightly, but I let it fall, free fall to the depth I want and start there and just kind of reel vertically up and work it around the wells or have brush piles dropped. It's just as simple as that. Haven't caught anything big yet. If you have brush that's down in there, you have the shade from the dock above, plus you have the darkness that the brush is providing. So those fish have got a really good ambush point over any bait fish that come by. That's usually where they're going to end up stacking in and feeding around. So like this well here where I was catching them earlier is the darkest well in the stock. And as you can see, it's where all the fish are. And I can go out to the ends of that well, and I'll show you guys this. But again, it's not a very big fish I just caught there. And go out here, it's the same well, where it's light. And I won't catch anything. If I come back over here, right where it's darkest and where there's brush, a bite there. Missed him, but there's fish here, and that's where the feeding ones are usually going to end up being. The depth I'm fishing at here kind of lake's down a couple feet, so I bet this is probably around 10 to 12 feet down, but the brush piles I'm fishing come up off the bottom probably a good 5 or 6 feet, so really I'm only fishing a few feet down just above where the branches are, and they're looking at it up through the trees. Like I just popped it over a branch right there. That's the only time I'm ever really you're gonna see me move my rod tip is trying to get it over the branches. And this has been about my average. This is obviously not a keeper, but I'm averaging about an 8-inch fish right now. Fish right there. Man, he really wanted that one. He ate that thing deep. See if we can just pop it out. Sometimes you don't need pliers when they get it down in there. You can just poke at the head of the jig and push it right back down and come straight out. That was a little bit better fish. I don't know how many crappie I've caught so far, but they end up all running together. I lose track of how many. That is not very big, but I think it's the biggest one I've caught today. It's barely 9 inches. Oh, lost that one. I only had the tail. Wasn't actually hooked. a little bit better. Again, barely 9 inches. We'll have crappie in here every day. The conditions line up like that. Because technique I'm using, it's really simple. You don't need to make crappie complicated. They're not. If you can find them, you can catch them. I'm showing you just how easy this is. You just drop it, let it fall. Let it swing back to you, slowly reel it. And just wait. Pale fish, real pale color. Wow, didn't quite come all the way out. Ooh, little one. When you start getting water splashing all over the dock, that means you're catching some fish. See that down there? It's a good day. Bite's good. That's the biggest one I've got so far. I think I found him. White crappie, really pale. I'm gonna ask you guys a question of the day. That one is a 9.5, so he would keep if I wanted him, but I don't. Question of the day for you guys: what makes fish have a paler color to the scales as opposed to a darker color, like a deeper? Besides just in the spawn, because sometimes the spawn will actually make them change the colors. The males will get darker. Leave a comment down below with what you guys think. Ooh, that's better. Yep, that'd be another keeper. Another white crappie. Another 9.5 incher. There goes that one. Alright guys, I'm headed out of here today. Didn't end up catching any white bass or anything out there. Ended up catching a couple more crappie. They're going to be in the video. But I do want you guys to comment down below what you think causes the different coloration patterns and everything. I know what some of the theories are on it and everything. It's kind of interesting, and it tells you a little bit about what the fish have been doing, and so that's why I'm asking. And some of you probably know, so I'm just going to let you guys comment about it, and I'll be answering them back and everything. So I think that'd be kind of a cool thing to do on this channel. It'll be a question of the day or tip of the day kind of thing like that. And so you learn something at least out of these videos. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video all the way to the end. Please subscribe if you enjoyed this, or if you have watched any of my other videos and like them, go ahead and subscribe. Smash that like button down there below as well, and comment about the question of the day. Thanks for your time, and we'll catch you next time.